What's up, everybody? Welcome to part number 9 of this mixing and mastering intermediate level mini series. I am Clormo, and today I'm just going to be talking about automation, mostly again philosophy behind it, a broader look at how to do it with one example. I don't want to do a lot of examples because I think here what I want to concentrate with the intermediate portion of this mini series is more like why it's important, where you should use it, why you should use it, and give you that confidence boost more than anything, or I hope more than anything, to get you going and using those things without any fear and thinking about using them and where, and being more specific and be more accurate when you use it. So without further ado, let's just go into Logic Pro X. This is just a recap of what we had before. I added some delay, auxiliary track, talk about that, and then add some other little effects into some of the tracks. I didn't check my levels because I want to do that more in the last part. Again, we know we have to do it, right? So I'm not going to concentrate too much on the mixer, although automation also applies to any of the controls here. I just wanted for you to look at the project that you have right now in front of you. And if you know nothing about automation, this is specifically good for you, what I'm going to say. Press A in your keyboard. This is your automation view. But that's not all what automation is. Automation, it's complete control over your tracks, complete control over what it's gonna sound, what's not gonna sound, what's gonna be in front of the mix, what's gonna be behind, what's gonna be audible, what's not gonna be audible. This is complete control. Like automation, it's really that. You can achieve those same things using plugins, using some other tricks, but automation really gives you that power in that you set it once, and however it may be, and you have that there forever, and you can later copy points, copy automation settings, paste them into other tracks if you're gonna share some of those with different tracks. And you can also, as an idea, and this is more as a quick tip, as an extra tip, always when you have automation, you're able to see it here in the view, in the automation viewer. So you can save a template with some automation settings already as a save as or as a template or something, and you can have them available for later. Like if it's something that makes up your sound, something that you want to experiment with, including automation, you can keep that forever instead of trying to figure it out again and again. Like, oh, I did this in this other mix where I went with a up and down gate for this synth. You can keep that for you in the future if you're paying attention. So in the automation viewer, why I wanted you to look at this is because there are two things that are very important. First, you can draw automation by using the pencil tool. And for example, if I take this track and I go main volume right now, it's in read mode, so it's not latch or doing anything. I just go ahead and start putting points. Obviously, there's no information here, so nothing's gonna happen, but I can do something like that, something crazy. And that's just the simplest form of automation. I'm gonna solo that. Let's check the end result. See how my knobs are reacting to what I did. So this is the simplest form of automation that you can do. You can select any parameter that you want to play with, and for that you have to open this disclosure triangle, and you can do anything that you want to any of the controls that are associated with this track. So this is a good example, so you can see what things are associated with it and what things you can do exactly what I did, just draw on them. So if I want to say, for example, I'm gonna undo that because that's not that pleasant. Just gonna get rid of that. I'm gonna choose some EQ settings. I'm gonna do high cut frequency. That's probably, yeah, it's probably good. I'm just gonna take that, and I am gonna come in and I am set my cycling, right, so it doesn't come from silence. And I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do something crazy like this, and then pick it up again. So now let's listen to what happened there. So I'm cutting all the high frequencies, which are not many anyway. Oh, I'm sorry. I misled you. I was doing that on the main volume. I have to do it down here if I want to deal with the frequency, with the high cutoff frequency. Sorry about that. So now let's take a listen to that. So notice that it's undoing to a certain extent what I'm doing with my EQ, but you can see it in action. Let's bring that up again. See how this high cut filter going in, cutting everything, giving you that washed up sound, and then opening up and letting the high frequencies come in again. I did it on purpose on this low end part of the track for the bass because that would be more of a dramatic impact. If I delete all of that, we know that I already had a cut of high frequency cut there, and I only letting the low frequencies pass. So that's another way that you can use it. And you might be thinking already, well, that's I can relate that to a lot of music nowadays where they use that sort of thing. It's very popular nowadays. It's very trendy, but it gives a lot of movement to the tracks. It gives it more, makes it more interesting, right? Like what's happening there. So that's, again, the simplest way. You're just drawing some points and you get it done. Now, as a more of an advanced technique, and you can do this to any knob. I'm gonna bring the mixer. You can do that to the following. You can do this to any knob that you have here. You can also do this to any plugin that you have. You can, let's say, open the compressor. You want to open the EQ, and you want to do the same thing in essence, right, in philosophy, that what I did with the drawing with the pencil tool, but doing it in the actual specific control. Then what you would do is very simple. You just come here to your automation mode, and you can do any of these, like touch or write, but latch would be the one that's pretty much standard to do. Like I won't explain the other ones at this point because I have done it before, but if you have a question, you just leave it in the comments and I'll give you more details. But what latch does is that when you start playing, when you hit play, you're in automation mode already by doing latch. So anything that you move, any parameters that you turn on or off, or that you move around, like I did with the high cut filter frequency cutoff, latch is going to be recording those movements. And then when you're done, you just change this to read, and all the automation is going to be visible, and it's going to be active, and it's going to play out in your track. So let me just do, I'm just not going to use the same EQ example. I'm just going to do the compressor. So what I'm going to do is just compress a lot and then bring it back, okay? Simple thing. I'm gonna do a read, Again, I was working with this track, so I bring up my automation with A. I expand that, and I go to my compressor, and I know that I was doing my ratio, and for some reason it's not showing it. How's that? How can that be? That is weird. So I cannot see that for some reason. Let's see. No, I didn't. I'm pretty sure I didn't do the threshold. You saw me do the you saw me do that ratio. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Yeah, they should be moving as I did it. Maybe I chose the wrong one. Let's try that again. Let's do latch again. And there it is. It's probably that I chose the wrong one, the wrong track, and I was thinking I did the right one. But there's my so when I go to read, that it's available there. So that's not as a dramatic of a parameter to automate, but I chose that on purpose because of that same reason. You're not really hearing anything dramatic happening, but it's as easy as that. So if I decided to, for example, go again to, let's see, let me pick another different track. Let's check the main synth. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this again with latch. Simple as that. Now let's listen to everything. So you can add that like as an intro, for example. So that's another very important portion of your mix that you can use that. So in recapping this, to start closing it, automation, again, full control over any and all parameters that are related to your track, and you have various ways of going about it. You can draw it manually, which is perfectly fine. It's very easy, as you saw me do it, nothing there. Or you can be more specific about the parameters that you want to turn on and off and do around for a specific plugin by using the latch option. And then when you're done, you put it back to read so that the program reads that automation on and on. And if you want to repeat this in some of the plugin that you may have, you can, again, if you have the same plugin on another track, you can just come to the mixer. For example, if I had this same channel EQ and I copied it to here, it's going to copy exactly all that, including the automation. Or you can just copy this automation curve and paste it into something else. So you have complete control, one. And two, this is one of those things that really drives the point home of movement and making things more interesting. So automation is very, very powerful for things like intros, outros, bridges, breaks, and just to give not only the movement, as I always say, but just to put emphasis on specific portions of your mix. So if you have something like a specific lyric that you want to make sure that you emphasize at a certain point of the mix, you can, for example, just turn everything down and do it automation, or you maybe want to filter everything so there's sound from the beat going on, but it's not as prominent as the vocal, and then the vocal kind of punches through everything and then goes back. Those sorts of things are the things that you should be thinking about, and then adding automation to make those happen, because these are stylistic things that you should be thinking about at all times and just adding them as needed, right? You don't need to automate every single thing, just as you don't have to put effects into every single thing. And with that, I'm gonna be stopping the video for now. Then in the last video, I'm just gonna go and do a little bit of the mastering. It's gonna be a very quick video as well, just talking a little bit about some points, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, how you should export your file, and that's gonna close the series. But for now, this is the end of this video. Thanks a lot for the support. If you have learned anything new and you haven't done so, please support me by subscribing to my channel Clormo. Hit the like button, share it with your friends. If you have any comments or you want to share your own views and your own tips and tricks about this specific topic, just leave a comment down below. If you are a little bit shy, you don't want everybody to see what you have to say, then just DM me on Twitter, just send me a message on Instagram, Facebook, or my email, clormoindustries@gmail.com, or at my webpage, clormoindustries.com. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.